好啦，出面準備好未
OK，ready。
好啦，歡迎大家嚟到參與啊！今次我哋個 WordPress Meetup 啦，今次嘅 setting 咧，大家可以見到咧就有啲唔同嘅。咁我就唔喺嗰個main room 嗰度啦。咁嘅原因就係咧，唔想有啲回音啊，咁所以咧我就坐喺一個唔同嘅 setting 嗰度。咁我哋嘅講者咧就喺馬來西亞嗰度嚟嘅，咁所以咧我哋有咁嘅 set up 啦。咁希望今次冇問題啊，可以順順利利咁樣完成呢一個嘅presentation 啊。好，咁我 share 翻啲 slide 先。好，呢度好啦。好，呢個就係今日嘅 agenda 啦。咁啊同平時都差唔多嘅啫。咁做完呢個 opening 之後咧，跟住LiRou 咧就會做佢嘅 presentation 啦，就係講呢個 digital experience optimization 嘅。跟住咧就有 lightning talk 啦，咁啊睇下大家會唔會報名啦。如果唔係嘅話，又我嘅 next slide 咧就做一個即係簡短嘅一個 presentation 咁啦。然之後咧，我哋就有一啲嘅 general Q&A 啦、discussion 啦，即係關於即係所有圍繞住WordPress 嘅一啲嘅話題咧，都可以攞出嚟傾嘅。咁就如果傾唔晒嘅話咧，我哋可以攞落去食飯嗰時講啦。咁傾完之後就 close，然後我哋就會去食飯啦。咁就又賣個廣告啦。我哋永遠咧都係揾緊 speaker 嘅。咁雖然而家我哋有2個 speaker 排緊，咁但係咧我哋都唔需要咧係好多人咧去幫我哋手分享佢哋嘅一啲嘅經驗啊，同埋嗰啲技術咁樣嘅。咁如果你係想講下你個 website 啦，即係幫自己做下呢啲 promotion 啦，呢個正嘢嚟㗎，即係我俾5分鐘俾你啊，講下你自己嘅 website 啊，好正㗎。咁仲可以講啲咩 development 啊、SEO 啊、business strategy 啊、UI UX 啊、security 啊、design、career、personal experience，其他嘅 topic 都得啊。咁最長我俾你30分鐘啦。咁如果係話有短啲嘅15分鐘啦嚇，咁再短啲5分鐘嘅 lightning talk 都可以嘅。好啦，咁今日我哋準備咗咧就係馬來西亞 LiRou 嘅一個 presentation 啦。咁跟住咧，我哋應該有15分鐘咧，就係做 lightning talk 嘅。咁 so far 咧仲未有人報名咁如果你有呢個 topic 可以講嘅，咁你可以即刻咧就填咗一張嘅 form。嗱，你可以 scan 咗個 QR code 啦，填咗張 form，得4個 field 嘅啫。即係你想話俾我哋聽，你想講乜，咁就得㗎啦。咁或者就係如果阿 LiRou 做緊個 presentation 嗰陣時，你突然間有啲 idea 想講嘅話咧，都可以喺佢做完個 presentation 之後咧舉手話俾我聽，話俾我哋聽啦，話俾人哋聽，因為我應該坐開一間房嗰度。咁係啦，到時舉手咁可以俾5分鐘嘅時間講下你自己一啲關於 WordPress 嘅經驗咁樣嘅。咁另外亦都仲要揾啲 volunteer 啦。咁其實我哋已經 record 咗2個啦。咁就包括Kevin 啦，Kevin 或者你起身，俾大家見一見你係啦。咁Kevin 咧主要就幫我哋係做下一啲 video editing 嘅工作啦。咁另外Matthew 咧，我多謝 Matthew。咁就暫時未有一個特定嘅工作俾佢嘅，不過佢會一路開始幫我哋手㗎啦。咁當然都仲要多謝阿 Caroline 喺咪度啊？Caroline 係啦。咁我哋都仲需要其他人幫手嘅嚇。我哋夠人嘅話咧，可能會開始諗下咧，去喺香港度再次做一個 WordCamp 咁樣嘅。咁所以咧，如果你係有興趣幫我哋嘅話咧，就記得上去我哋嘅網站度 sign up 咯噃。好啦，咁亦都一定要多謝嘅就係場地嘅 sponsor Coffee 啦。呢一個咁好嘅地方每次每一個月佢都免費俾我哋用嘅。咁呢度有一個好好嘅設施，咁我哋再一次多謝佢啦。好啦，咁跟住咧就要介紹佢講者啦喎。今次咧LiRou佢講嘅 topic 咧就係 digital experience optimization。 咁主要咧就係講呢個點樣做呢個 lead generation 啦，e-commerce site 嘅 improve conversion 啦，最緊要到最尾咧就係話點樣可以去增加你個收入嘅。咁details 我留翻俾佢講啦。嗱，咁其實咧上一個月咧大家都見過佢張相㗎啦。咁呢度咧右邊嗰個咧就係佢啦。咁中間嗰個就係馬來西亞嗰邊 WordCamp 嘅 speaker 嘅負責人嚟嘅。咁嗱少少介紹翻阿 LiRou啦，佢就係呢個 Mida 嘅co-founder 啦。佢 Mida 呢間公司咧就係 digital 做呢個 digital experience optimization 嘅。咁佢有一個 e-commerce background 啦。咁就佢主要就係幫一啲嘅零售嘅 business 咧，就有做啲嘅 digital transformation 同埋 strategy 嘅 optimization 嘅。咁另外咧，佢亦都成立咗 Athletic Introvert 啦。咁就係即係俾一啲introvert，即係有一啲即係對於 fitness 有關注嘅一啲 introverts 係喺度聚埋一齊咁樣嘅。好啦，咁而家我就將個台交俾阿 LiRou啦。嗱，LiRou就咩啦？佢識講少少廣東話啦，佢識呢個華語啦，同埋英文嘅。咁佢咧就個 presentation 咧主要用英文嘅，但係咧我就氹到佢咧就話用廣東話嚟介紹自己嘅。咁而家就聽下 LiRou介紹下佢自己同埋呢個 digital experience optimization 啊。
Okay. Victor，你聽到我講嘢冇？聽到冇？聽到。
聽到啊，好清楚。
OK。So hello 香港嘅朋友，首先多謝 Victor 嘅介紹啦。我係 LiRou，馬來西亞華人，and 馬來西亞華人都講廣東話嘅。但係啫，我嘅廣東話就唔係好叻啦。但係我就 take Victor 嘅 challenge，我試下用廣東話嚟介紹一下我自己。然之後我會用英文同你分享一下我嘅 digital experience、optimization experience and learnings。So 首先咧，like Victor mentions，我係一個 co-founder of marketing technology product called Mida。and 我哋嘅 product 咧係一個 digital experience optimization platform 嚟嘅。我哋嘅 product 係 market to 全球嘅市場。我哋嘅 client 咧包括 global fashion brand like Stradbary and 雷點、化妝品品牌 Hiccup 同埋高端車品牌like Jaguar and Land Rover。之前咧我都有經營自己嘅品牌嘅 experience 嘅。我發咗一個運動品牌叫Athletic Introvert。其實我自己都係一個 introvert 嚟嘅。So besides making like 除咗中意揾女之外，我都係我同時我都係好中意做運動嘅。So 賺錢 and 做運動啦，我嘅hobby 係。So 呢個品牌嘅 purpose 咧係希望幫助嗰啲 introvert person like you and me 揾到佢哋中意嘅運動。Because 我發現咧好多人唔中意運動係因為佢哋冇揾到適合同佢哋中意做嘅運動。And 其實運動都有好多種方式，like you have like we have team sports and we have 個人嘅 sports， 有快嘅運動，有慢嘅運動。So if you can only when you can find a sport that you enjoy doing, then you can keep doing that and live an active lifestyle. So 從事自己個品牌嘅經驗，我都係學咗好多，and 呢啲經驗都幫我help my existing global clients 我都可以 understand their perspective and viewpoint when I serve my global clients for my product right now. So and okay, everyone, so thanks for bearing with my Cantonese. Now let's dive into the topic of digital experience optimizations, and allow me to do a very quick clarifications first about what is not DXO, because when a lot of times when we say DXO, it sounds like a big work and it sounds like needing a lot of efforts, like I need to make a complete makeover or complete redesign of my entire website. But this perception towards DXO is actually not very true. So throughout my experience in DXO, I've seen a lot of examples where making huge redesign of the website might not always lead to positive impact to your conversions, or even worse, you can actually hurt your conversions rate by just simply redesigning your page. And we have also seen a lot of cases where small changes, low efforts changes can actually bring positive impact to your conversions and to your metrics, like for example, increasing revenue. And I will show you all these real world examples later. And another point about what is not DXO is also DXO is not just about conversions rate optimization as well. CRO stand for conversions rate optimizations, because the benefits of DXO can be seen in terms of like SEO rankings, improving revenues, as well as your user satisfactions. So if I were to boil down a DXO into two simple points, so you can grab the concept and understand DXO, I would say that DXO is about unique experience and data-driven. Unique experience means that each website, your competitor website, or similar business website are actually all very unique and different, because your website is different, your product and service, and the context where how your visitors land on your website, land on your page, are all very different. And thus, all these factors contribute to making your website user experience very unique. So because of this, what works for others might not work for you. So like, for example, you can find all the best practices and tips of improving your website user experience all over the internet. But if you really put the changes, like for example, if you want best practices, say that you have to add social proof element to your landing page. And then if you like follow these best practices to design your page, and if you really put this into experimentations, you will find that not all best practices work for your website. And because of this, a successful DXO must be data-driven. So only through testing and measuring the impact of the changes before you fully deploy them, then you will know whether this change will work for your visitors and will work for your website. And over time, once you get more sense, get more insight into what are some of the changes that work for your website, and what are some of the changes that have high impact or low impact to your website, you can actually find the low-hanging fruit opportunity to improve your website. So when we say low-hanging fruit opportunity, which means that it's like simple tweak and then will have a huge impact on your conversions rate. Okay, so why optimize your website? If you are spending money into digital ads to drive traffic to your website, then you must keep optimizing your website to scale the impact of your ads and your acquisition effort, not to scale, but not your ads budget. Because I think it's quite obvious now, these years, the digital ads are really super expensive. So if you work in a corporate, and if you go to your management and you ask for a bigger budget for your ads, then I think you will likely hit the wall. So it's like a simple math. if you improve your conversions rate, even at a very small percentage, you can actually get a better return on expense without increasing your ad budget. So we always advocate this, scale the conversions rate, but not the ads budget. And then another point is that retention starts and onboarding a website, because not all product and services and not all website can convert visitors on their first visit. And therefore, if your website is very difficult to load and has like a low loading time, then the same visitors might not pay the visit on second and the rest of the times. So if you cannot delight your visitors on their first visit, then you are actually losing the opportunity to reach your potential clients and visitors to convert them in the following visits. Okay, so here is a real-world case study DXO story about how a redesign of the page could bring negative impact to the conversions rate. The conversion rate here, we refer to the form submissions. This is a lead generations page. And then let me just use this. Okay. Okay, you can see that this is a control. Control means that it is the original design. And then we have this new design. So this is one of our clients. They redesigned the page by following the best practices. Like some of the best practices say that we need to use some like icon images to make the text easier to read, right? So you can see that the original version, they have this huge chunk of text that they feel that the visitors will find it very difficult to read. So they redesigned the page to like using icons to make it easier to read. And then you can see that the original version here, there is this lead gen form. But then in the new design, they moved the form to the bottom of the page. And then these two design is actually the first screen the visitors see when they land on this page. So we can see that the new design is actually not doing better than the original design. This is kind of counterintuitive, because the original design just seemed very boring, but then it has a better performance in terms of form submissions, and the new design is not performing better. So this is an example where if you just rely on your intuition, logical thinking to design your page, to make your page better, but if you really put them into experimentation, A/B testing, you will notice that not all best practices and not all logical thinking really convert your users better. And the reason that we can make a conclusion from this test is that just most of the time, people just don't read the information on the page. Sometimes they might have some prior understanding of what this page is doing. And then when they land on the page, the first screen, what they want to do is just to, they can quickly know that they can do what they want on this page. Like if you move the form to the bottom of the page, and imagine if your visitors come to this new page, they cannot find the form, and they do not scroll down the page to see the form. So if the first screen doesn't tell them that they can do what they can do on this page, which is submitting their some car plate registration number, then they will immediately exit the page. They will bounce. So this is an example of redesigning based on best practices, based on some tips on the internet, might not always work, right? And here is another example. It's actually the same website. It's a UK-based car registration platform that allows UK people to sell and buy their car plate numbers. And this is an example of a value proposition statement optimization. So you can see that what they changed on their homepage is pretty simple. They only change the copywriting of the main headline, and then they move the description down the headline. So you can see this is some of the low-hanging fruit that you can really tap into to improve your conversions rate or even your revenues. Like you can see that the first statement, they focus on the merchant themselves. Their service are fast and easy, but then you can see that the second statement, they focus on what the customer wants. Because like if I'm the user, if I land on this homepage, I want to like really find a car plate number that is meaningful to me. Like some of us might choose a car plate number that is our like birth date, right? Or some meaningful date or some lucky digit, right? So you can see that the main call to action of this landing page is they want the user to perform the search of the car plate number, whether it is available for them. So this statement maybe is not that relevant at this stage, because only when the user found their favorite car plate number, then they will only consider the service of the merchant. So this statement speak to the merchant themselves, speak about the merchant themselves, but this statement speaks about what the user want. So you can see that just by testing different copywriting, they can improve their conversion rate by about 31%. Yeah, so that is another low-hanging fruit opportunity that of our clients. And it's also the same page. So we can see that once they find their perfect value proposition statement, the next thing that they go to experiment is they try to replace the hero images, the car hero images to the social proof elements. So by testing different hero images like this, and then they improve their conversions rate by 8%. So you can see that this is how we call the measuring the impact of the changes. That is on the same page, same screen. You can see that the impact of changing your value proposition statement and the impact of replacing your hero images, the change are different. So by running all these experimentations over time, you actually will get a better sense and insights into what kind of change will bring bigger impact to your business and what kind of change that you can deprioritize them when in the future. Yeah. And this is another example which comes from our own case study. So this is our sign out page. Our product, MIDA sign out page. So this is the original sign out page. We thought that visitors who have already like browsed through our homepage and land on the sign out page has enough confidence to sign up our services for free, to try out for free already. So initially we decided to keep our sign up page very clean and simple to remove distractions. We don't want our potential clients to distract from the sign up page. So we did so that was our idea before. But then we tried to add another social, because like we have a lot of, to give you the context, we have a lot of social proof elements on our homepage already. That's why we believe that when our user move to the from our homepage to the sign out page, they have enough confidence in us already. So initially, previously, we keep it very clean and simple. But then we still notice that a lot of people still draw off from the funnel when they land on the sign out page. So we decided to add the same testimonial, the same social proof elements from the homepage to our sign out page, and then our sign out rate actually improved by around 60%. So that is really huge, and it is a very low effort thing as well. We are just like duplicating the same elements from our homepage and then move to the sign out page, and then we can actually like improve the sign out rate this much. And like I mentioned earlier just now, each website is unique and different, and you can see that previous example is also adding the social proof elements on their homepage. And this example, our own example, is also adding a social proof elements, but then on the sign out page. And then you can see that the impact are actually very, very different. So this is why I always say each website is very different, because your user journey, how they land on this, how they land on the homepage, how they land on our sign out page is actually very different. So we always have to like validate and measure the impact of the change before we fully deploy them on our website. Okay, so this is actually an e-commerce example, and the changes is actually quite difficult to tell. Let me see. Okay, so the original design, you can see that their search function is actually quite hidden. Only when you go on to click on it, and then the search bar will pop up. And then the new design is that you don't need to go on to click on the search bar. The search bar will always visible. And then no matter how far down you scroll, the search bar will always sticky at the top and always remains visible to encourage visitors to use the search bar to find the products that they want. So the story of this case study is that our client find out that their website visitors are actually convert better than the mobile visitors. So they try to look at the how the website visitors use their e-commerce website compared to the mobile visitors. And then they found that the usage of search functions from the website, from using the laptop and browse computer, are actually significantly higher than the mobile user. So they decided to remind the user on the mobile to use the search function to look for the product that they want. Only when they can find the product they are looking for, then they will buy the product. So this is the story of these e-commerce merchants. But like I mentioned, if you are running an e-commerce website, does this like sticky search bar work for you? I don't think so, because if you have a well-organized catalog, well-organized product menu already, that your visitors can easily look for the product from the well-organized category, then you probably don't need this so-called best practices of search functions for your e-commerce website. So I guess this is also a temporary thing for these e-commerce clients. So once they optimize their product catalog better, then probably this search function doesn't matter that much anymore. Yeah. Okay, so here is another e-commerce optimization example. So this is on the cart page. So this is the original design, which is quite simple and plain. And they decided to add something to make the discount more visible and remind the visitors of the savings that they can save if they like take on these promotion items. And you can see that by just implementing this kind of simple UI changes, they can improve their RPV, stand for revenue per visitors, by 45%. And with the existing current common experimentation tools like MyDA right now, you can actually easily track not only the conversions, but also the revenue, total revenue per visitor, or average order value for your e-commerce website if you are running, doing an e-commerce. Yeah, so here's another example of e-commerce website about the product descriptions. So you can see that everything is identical, apart from just this unique selling point. So they just changed what this unique selling point they try to experiment with different statements to see which statements resonate more with their existing, with their visitors. Then just by testing this new statement, and then they can improve their purchases conversions rate by about 20%. Yeah. Okay, so enough of the real world case study. So now let's get into your DXO journey. So I think the first thing first in your DXO journey is always about checking your website performance. And when I say website performance, it's about your page loading time. And you can use like the core web vital metrics by Google, like for example, the FCP, first contentful pane, largest contentful pane, and cumulative layout shift, all these kind of matrices to measure that, to make sure that your website is up to standard before you go on to change anything on your website. Because imagine that you try to experiment with different headlines, experiment with different images. But if your page already has an issue of a slow loading time, your potential visitor already bounce before they can see the changes that you implement on your pages. So this is also a very common issue when we serve our client, is where if they have a low loading, slow page loading time, then there's really no point to run A/B testing or run any kind of experimentation. And once you get all the green light from the Google about your user experience, the next thing that you can start your DXO campaign is start with something that is already exists on your page. What this means is that, like for example, from the previous examples that I shared with you earlier, all the experiments are like experimenting with different headlines, the hero headlines, and experimenting with the hero images, like from the car to the social proof elements. And yeah, and then I'm sure every page has a headline, has a description, has a main call to actions button, or has a hero images. So these are something that already exist on your page. So you can start with something that is already available, the elements already available with your page. Try to experiment with different versions rather than trying to redesign or make a complete change of the page. Like you see the example earlier, redesign, the effort to redesign the page is really huge, but the result does not always up to what we expect, right? And yeah, so once you have experiment with more comfortable and more confidence in running experimentation with content kind of experimentation, then the next thing is more complicated kind of experimentation. You can start with try a longer funnel compared to a shorter funnel kind of a user flow and user journey. And you can also experience like the different features. Like for example, if you want to like some of our recent e-commerce clients, they are actually experimenting with different search engine features. Like with the advanced or e-commerce, now they want to experience using the voice assistant search engine compared to the original. So these are some of the more advanced experimentations that you can do once you get more experience. Once you get more experience in terms of A/B testing and experimentation. And finally, if you have run enough A/B tests and experimentations, and if you deep dive into your A/B test result, you will be able to notice for sure a patterns that some variants or some versions might work for a specific segments. Like for example, the value proposition statements, the earlier example, like maybe I can just show you. Okay, so this statement is not performing better, right? overall is not performing better. But if you deep dive into the A/B test result, this statement, this copywriting might work better for returning visitors. Like for returning visitors, they probably have found their perfect private plate, right? So this statement probably will work for a specific segment like returning visitors. And this statement will probably work for first-time visitors. And this is where your personalizations can come in. You can actually, instead of deploying the new version, so instead of deploying this new version to all visitors, you can actually personalize your page based on returning visitors see this statement and new visitors see this statement. So this is just an example. And like if you have like run feature experimentation, and you will notice that the simple or older version of search engine might work for lower end devices segments. And then the more advanced voice assistant search engine feature might work for higher end devices. And that is where only through experimentation, you will be able to get insight into your personalization for your website. Okay, so how do you identify high impact DXO? Like high impact that I mentioned earlier just now, all the changes has a numeric way to measure them. Like adding testimonial could bring you 6% improvement, 30% improvement, and we always want to prioritize high impact DXO, right? So so this is how you can start. You can start with your highest traffic pages. This is typically your homepage, or if you are e-commerce website, that is your bestseller product page. And if you are lead gen and if you are running ads to drive traffic to a certain landing page, then that would be your ad landing page, because the high traffic page will have more data points to give the A/B test result more confidence, as well as after that, if you really found better versions, if you launch it to all visitors, you can benefit more visitors compared to if you run experiments on low traffic page. The visitors that you can benefit are just smaller. And next thing is that you can try to experiment with elements that are above the fold. So above the fold means that elements that are visible without any scrolling activity. So this is normally, like I mentioned, the headline, the description, the main call to actions buttons, and then the hero images. So the screen that you see without any scrolling. So this again ensure more visitors and more data points as well, because like for example, not all visitors like read through your entire page, right? Some will just, if the first screen does not pursue them to stay, then they will just bounce, and then you have lesser and lesser visitors scroll down the page. So you want to like maximize the impact, so you focus on the above the fold elements. And the third thing that you can try is experiment with pages that are closer to money. So if you have like, have a cart page for e-commerce website and checkout page, that's where you can like really maximize the impact of your DXO. Okay, so like I mentioned, to start with your high impact DXO, you can start with your homepage, right? And then these are some of the questions that you can ask your potential, or you can actually ask the people beside you right now. You can show them your homepage and then ask them, you can like give them 5 to 10 seconds to look at the first screen or your homepage, and then and then you can ask them this question, see whether they can answer your questions. Like for example, what kind of product or service or information that you provide, and can they tell what is so special about your business, and can they tell what does the page want them to do, whether to like make a search, whether to move into a different pricing page. So what the homepage want them to do. So if they can, if the answer that they share with you does not align with your ideal customer profile, then I guess there's a lot of opportunity for you to start optimizing your homepage and hero banner. Yeah, so I think that is about my presentation about DXO. And like I mentioned, MIDA is a digital experience optimization platform, and it is a website A/B testing tool to help you to validate your changes and measure your DXO impact. So if you want to find out more about MIDA, this is here's a QR code for you to read more. And I'm happy to answer any questions that the floor has right now. So yeah.
Okay, great, LiRou, for your presentation. So guys, if you want to find LiRou, scan the QR code. We actually will have the QR code available on our website for you, but take a picture of it so that you can remember to go to our website. So we can now open to the floor for any questions. So there is an X on the floor, and if you are interested in asking LiRou a question, please go to the X. Maybe Nick can show where the X is, and you can ask a question in Cantonese or English. If LiRou cannot understand, then we will do the translation for her, or we can do the translation for you.
Should I ask in English or Cantonese?
Cantonese is fine. I think Cantonese
我講廣東話。
可以。
我想問咧，因為我係新嘅，I'm a new WordPress user.
Okay.
First, I was very frustrated with the first website, and then I learned to do it by myself. So I'm a very new beginner. But after I heard from your presentation, I really want to develop deeper into what you are suggesting. So can I ask, is there any plugin that is very convenient for me to use it to start the DXO journey? Because I not even start the SEO setup. I know how to set up the cards. I can set up the discounted tag. But is there any plugin that you can recommend for me to start experiencing this kind of optimization?
Okay. Yeah, so thanks for your questions. And I would say that if you are if your website is quite new, I would really recommend you to start getting some traffic to your website, like for example, through SEO, through running ads, or through content marketing. Because like I mentioned, if you want to run experimentation, you need some traffic to your website. So this traffic is we call it as a data points. So if there are visitors visiting your website, then we will have the data points of how these visitors act or behave on your website. So if without enough traffic to your website, I don't think that experimentation is something useful for you at this moment. So I guess you can prioritize increasing traffic to your website first, then only consider running experimentation. Does that answer your question?
Yes. What about if I do have some? What if I already have some traffic? And what is the next one that I can do? Like what if I think what you said is about data analysis? What kind of a plugin or step I need to do in order to do the experiment?
Okay. So if you have some traffic and you want to run A/B testing, website A/B testing as experimentation, MIDA has also this pixel. So basically, you just have to add MIDA. MIDA is our experimentation platform. So you can just add this MIDA pixel to your website. And then you can start with some very simple tests, like I mentioned, the value proposition statements. So like if your website is quite new, sometimes, okay, even though you are a well-established business, I would say that people over time, they change their they change their usage of terms. Like if you notice how older, I wouldn't say older, how elder people speak is a little bit different from younger people speak. So the value proposition statements, I think that it always have optimization opportunity. So I would suggest that you can try MIDA for free. MIDA, we actually have free plans. So our free plans covers up to 25,000 visitors. So as long as your traffic in terms of unique visitors below 25,000, then you can definitely use our product for free. And then you can start experimenting with different headlines or even the images, the hero banner images. These are really the I would say the greatest potential optimization opportunity. Yeah. Okay.
Next question. Maybe you can look at the camera so the speaker will be able to see you.
Hi, I'm Ivan. I'm like a WordPress agency who does WordPress exclusively in Hong Kong. I think thank you for the presentation. Very interesting. I was also looking into a tool, which I think that was a good question, to do A/B testing, which usually is done by just Google Analytics, but it's not as friendly. So thank you for introducing this tool. I think sort of a follow-up question is, there are various different industries for different websites. So some are B2B, B2C, some are e-commerce, which you mentioned a lot, but there are some conversions that are done in the B2B industry. There are some of them from lawyers, doctors to perhaps even NGOs. I think the question that I want to ask is, and which sort of echoes back to what you're suggesting, is what is the base number at the end, the size? What's the traffic number that you would recommend for any B2B website to start looking into optimizing their DXO using A/B testing? Is there and I would imagine that sort of comes back to, do you have like a number, sort of a benchmark of the best conversion B2B website you've ever came across and the worst conversion B2B website, and what is the middle ground?
Okay, so as a general guideline, I would say that the conversions rate should be at least 100 unique conversions. So what it means is that, like, for example, if you are a B2B lead generation website, then the conversion rate could be form submission, right? So as long as your money traffic has at least unique form submissions, then I would say that you are good for you can get some pretty good insights from A/B testing. And that is in terms of conversions. But in terms of traffic, I would say I'm not very confident about this number, but I would say at least 1,000 visitors. So I think a few thousand, but at least 1,000. But a more confident answer that I would share with you is the in terms of the unit conversions. So if you have like 100 unit form submissions rate for your B2B website, so yeah, I think you can get pretty good insight from the experimentation. But I would say 1,000 traffic unique visitors.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Just okay. It's a little bit breaking.
Other questions from the floor? If not, then I'll ask a question. Actually, it's a question that has been asked WordCamp Malaysia. Not that the question is good, but I thought the answer was very good. Are the numbers in the slides statistically significant?
Yes, all the data that I share are all conclusive statistically significant result.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You actually have a longer answer, but so yeah, you talk a little bit about the methodology, but I think while you are answering the question before, you actually touched about it. Okay, so okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions from the floor? Okay, if not, then well, let's take the picture with the speaker together. So people from in the conference room, can you please sit on the front row and second row so that our camera will be able to capture you? Hey, guys at the back, please go to the front row. And make sure that you can see yourself from the projector screen. Okay, everybody ready?
Look at the camera.
Huh? Yeah, right. That's the camera. Okay, let's try 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me check. Okay, let's take one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me check. Okay. Well, it failed. Somehow the picture is not looking good. Okay, let's try another one. 1, 2, 3. Let me check. Okay, something wrong. Okay, let's try one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's the last one. All right, thank you. Now let me switch to my share screen. I think we are overrunning, so we are not going to have the lightning talk. Actually, I checked and nobody applied, so I'm very disappointed. But I'm also very happy that LiRou gave us a very good presentation. And for your reference, her presentation in WordCamp Malaysia was only 15 minutes, and I saw a number of slides which were not there. So she is actually giving us more than she gave in WordCamp Malaysia. So let me share my screen again. All right, so well, we have gone through the Q&A. All right, so we are going to send LiRou our certificate of appreciation. So I'm going to send it to her digitally. She has turned on her camera. Anyway, well, if I meet her in Malaysia sometime, then I'll actually send her a physical one. All right, so Nick, well, how about I just do the closing? Is that okay, Nick? Nick?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Lightning talks, we're not going to do it. Okay, general discussion. Well, we are going to do it during dinner. So please join us. And yeah, closing now. Again, the WordCamp Malaysia 2025 is going to happen on February 20th. I see that there are still over 200 tickets. Oh, wow, this is not the latest number, but it's close to 200. I think, well, it's because Matt's company is not doing any job at the end of the year. And if you have listened to the news, you know what's going on. So anyway, there are about 200 tickets remaining last time I checked. And if you're interested, you still have the chance to get a ticket. Well，其實我可以講翻中文喎而家。新山嘅 WordCamp 啦嚇，5月啦， 我會 check 下次再同大家 update 啦，睇下佢哋究竟個實際嘅日子係幾時啦，同埋其他有關嘅資料啦。如果你哋係有人想去嗰邊講 talk 嘅，其實都可以報名嘅。咁我亦都會下一次再 remind 翻大家。Call for speaker 啦，大家報名啦，volunteer 亦都係啦。咁就呢個咧就係今次 share 啲相嘅 URL 啦，咁樣就大家就scan 咗佢啦。頭先就 take 咗啲咩嘅相嘅話，就可以上去share 啦。咁之後咧，我亦都會將我影咗嘅相啦，同埋阿 Nick 我諗會影咗啲啦，咁就會擺埋上去嘅，咁大家可以分享啦。咁好啦。一陣嗰餐都係同一個地方都係啦，20蚊至70蚊啦，即係 depends on 你飲啊，定係食啦，定係飲同埋食啦。咁不過今次我諗要等我哋大概10分鐘啦，因為今次嗰個 setup 係比較複雜一啲啦，我哋要多少啲時間做嘅。咁就亦都再次多謝我哋嘅 sponsor Coffees 俾個咁好嘅場地俾我哋。咁下一次咧，其實嗰個時間就已經定咗啦，就會係2月17號嘅。咁如無意外嘅話咧，就會Ivan 啦，我哋嘅 SEO expert 咧，就會同我哋講一個 talk。咁上一次佢講嘅時已經係2023年嘅1月啦，呢個強勢回歸啦嚇，咁大家就 mark 低你哋嘅 calendar，記得下次嚟啦。好，咁就今日係咁多，咁食飯嘅咧就可以留喺度啦，等我哋10分鐘執下嘢啦，咁跟住又可以一齊落去。咁如果係你唔去嘅，咁就多謝你哋嘅出席，咁希望下一個月就再次見到大家，多謝你哋。
咁就係啦，我哋轉頭落去食飯。今日我哋一齊食飯嘅，咁就打我哋大家一齊。